today's market conditions, right? This is a really important chart. And this is the part I'm optimistic about. Is that this is from the 10th district farm income spending. 10th district is a Fed district. You got farm income, capital spending, and household spending. And this is bankers responding to this. So the Federal Reserve, Kansas City Fed says, hey, bankers, tell us what it looks like out there, right? So I'm going to be part of this next week in Valparaiso. A local farmer said, come to us, and an economic planning committee wants to know, you as a commodity broker, how you think things look. I'm like, I'll tell them, but I think they try to go and say, and he said in many ways, schools, education, taxes, this, law enforcement, how do things look? And so what I've learned from this chart, and this is nothing new to the older guys in the room, but the younger guys, how old are you in the green sweatshirt?
22.
Yeah, did you ever do LDP? Did you ever do the PIC program? PIC program, LDP, saved your butt, didn't it? All right, they don't know what it is. So, well, you don't want to know what it is, because if we get to LDP, we got bigger problems. So, but what I know about this chart is that agriculture has booms and busts, higher times, worse times, higher times, and lower times. And if I had my pointer, we're about it really low. Now, what's cool about this chart is no matter how good it seems it gets worse. And no matter how bad it seems, it gets better. And we are at a bad time. And I think within the last few weeks or the last few months, I bet you we bottomed and we didn't know it. And that's why Brian is bullish, because he's been in this business long enough to know we don't stay down there forever. And you can lose a lot of money selling all your crop at the low and saying, I just can't take it anymore. Get me out of everything. When you say get me out, that's it. It's the game over. And so we are on that cycle, okay? Now that the stock market's come down, commodity funds are actually starting to buy commodities. So we'll get something at the end of the day called commitment of traders. I bet you see that they have covered 15 to 30,000 corn contracts this week, maybe 20 to 40,000. I'll be shocked if they've added to more shorts. So as these funds have a record short position in corn, wheat, and beans, they're starting to cover. Commodities are probably going to look 12 months, 18 months from now like a lot cooler asset class, okay? And so one of the favorite things I like to do is talk about silver. Silver is how I found out and learned about the futures market. And so when I was a kid at my mom and dad's restaurant, I was asking for bars of silver for Christmas gift. I used to like Lionel trains, and I kind of got a little older, like 9 or 10, and I said, let's go from trains to silver. I had an ounce, 2 ounces. What it was there was a coin store next to my mom and dad's restaurant. It was actually a jewelry store, and they sold silver, and I bought an ounce and this and that. And then I asked for 10 ounces of silver at Christmas. Okay, if I'm offending anyone because they said Christmas, let me know. Anyone upset? Okay, good. Sorry, I want to keep it politically correct here. So my cousin, we're at the restaurant making pizzas. He goes, how much silver you own? I go, 120 ounces. He goes, that's pretty good. What's it worth? I go, $8 an ounce. He goes, you're an idiot. Now, this is my cousin who had a master's degree in history, is making pizzas for my parents, called me an idiot, which is funny, and he never amounted to much, but I'm grateful for what he did for me. He said, did you know, go talk to your father, sell your silver, have him open you a futures account. I go, no, those guys are scumbags. I even knew that when I was 8. I said, no. I go, what's a future? And maybe some of you are still asking that. What's a future? What's an option? I know you know what futures are. But if I said, what's a put spread, a call spread, what's this? Let's collect some premium. You'd be like, you lost me. Okay? And so my cousin told me to sell that silver, have my dad open a futures account, and if we bought, they had a mini contract. And if we bought one mini contract of silver, we would be in control of 1,000 ounces. I said, so I can get all the value of 1,000 ounces if it goes from 7 to 8. Of course, I was bullish, right? Because you're a little kid and you know where silver's going. And if you own silver, which way do you want it to go? Right. What little kid would own 100 ounces of silver and say, I hope it goes down tomorrow? That's where you guys are. You guys are now big kids owning corn, wheat, and soybeans. No one comes in here and goes, I hope it goes down tomorrow. You'd be like, get away from me. You're a moron. So 1 ounce of silver, right? Well, what I know, I did some fancy math before I got up here, is I did some calculating. Does anyone know what an ounce of silver is worth today? 13. Any other guesses?
That's about right. 12, 13.
Okay, anyone else? 14. He went 13, 14, right? We got a winner. Okay. You ready? All right. 1 ounce of silver. Congratulations, okay? Now, the next question, we're going to be given ounces of gold, so listen up, okay? So with that 1 ounce of silver, this is the point. All these PowerPoint slides, all this is the big kahuna right here. You getting this? 1 ounce of silver will buy you 1.5 bushels of beans, okay? Or 4 bushels of corn, okay? I happen to have a bushel of corn with me, okay? Okay? 4 of these, okay? You can have it, okay? Are you married?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I don't want to hear if you're not and what she did, okay? So I'm glad you said yes, thank you. I was like, after I asked that question, I go, what type of question is that? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home, you keep the basket, that's white cheddar corn, and you go to your wife, your honey, and you go on your nightstand. I want you to put 4 bushels of corn there, and that ounce of silver. And I want you to tell me what your wife asked you to remove first. What do you think she'll say? She likes corn, huh? Well, she's bullish, I know. I've met your wife, she's bullish, yeah. You're probably going to have to move the corn, huh? Okay, you grow a product that doesn't store well. If you want an investment, buy an ounce of silver. You can store a lot of those. If you put ounces of gold in your top drawer of your nightstand, it would probably be $250,000. Some of you guys probably still have $250,000 worth of corn sitting in your bin. But there's problems. It shrinks at this. It can get bugs. It can get hot. There's a lot of things that happen. That ounce of silver will never spoil. And so as far as marketing, I don't have all the answers. I have no clue where the market's going, but I know what your risk is. Your risk is that corn spoils. Your risk is the price goes down. Your risk is you forget to check fall price because you just didn't know and someone didn't educate you. And we rallied $2 from $3.60 to $4.60 to $5.60 because we had the drought or the Ukraine thing or the thing we can't see that hasn't happened yet. And that's why you can't predict price. My whole life of trading, I thought crude oil was cheap the other week at 32. I bought it. I sold it at 30. I bought it at 28. I sold it at 27. But 27, I said, I can't take it anymore. I went and bought 10 crude oil calls because now I've limited my risk. I spent $5,000 on crude oil calls. I can only lose $5,000. So if crude oil really goes from 27 to 0, I'm okay? Because my wife now works. My wife works at Advanced Trading. She's my assistant. My wife works as a waitress at her mom and dad's restaurant because we have kids who are in $4,000 soccer programs and gymnastic programs. Anyone have kids like that? Maybe you have kids who are grown who you're still sending money to. I don't know. And so you just wait. It's coming for you too, okay? And so in the 40 years of watching silver, I was around in the 80s, but I was just a kid. I was born in 1972. But in the 80s, the Hunt brothers whooped it up, did this, did that, and silver went to 50. It didn't stay there long. And then silver came down, and this is Tommy Grisafi buying ounces over here. What a lonely time to be buying ounces of silver and get involved in the commodities market. That's truly how I learned what futures were. But on that next point up there, that's when the king and queen were married. And I remember getting up because silver was up $2 that night, and I was short. I started selling silver at 36. And on this trade, I was down about $250,000. It's always $250,000. When you start fading markets and you're wrong, it costs you a lot of money. And I had to do the same thing that day. And so my wife and I are up at 2 in the morning. We're watching the royal wedding. And she's like, why are you so nervous? I go, I've lost $50,000 just watching them go through the procession here. She goes, what happened? I said, silver went from up $1 to up $2. And so that day, silver made a high. And then something happened the next day, which not a single analyst knew or wrote about, where they live in Florida or here. A little firm, nice firm, MF Global, changed. They're not around anymore because they were run by a really great guy named John Corzine, who was a senator and a congressman and a governor, but he blew up a firm. He took $1.6 billion of customer seg money, that's your money, and used it to bet on Italian bonds. But that's a story over pork we'll get to. But what I do know is that weekend, they changed the margin on silver. And they said, you don't need $5,000 in your account to keep a silver. You need $30,000. Silver went down $6 in the first hour of the open. Nobody knew that. So the exchange raised margins. The exchange raised margins again. So many people were speculating in silver that it collapsed through both a physical, the mechanics of it. Grandma started melting her silverware. the market went back up to 50. What I can tell you about markets after 20-some years of trading, I received a full seat on the Chicago Board of Trade on my 21st birthday. I understand risk. Is that when markets go up, they don't stay there long. And the reason corn, wheat, soybeans never stay there long is because you guys and girls sent out a signal. You said, we're America. We suck at growing soybeans. They're $17. Can you help us out? And they say, hell yeah! Here we go. We're digging up this, we're digging up that, we're digging up that. We're going to plant them along I-65 if you guys can't get it under control, right? And so the whole world helped you guys out so well that we went down to $8 recently. And they might help you out so well this year, we might go down to $7 next year. You are so good at growing soybeans that it's not the guys at the Board of Trade who are hurting you anymore. I used to, when corn was $7.50 and then it'd break 25 cents, I'd go stop by a farmer's house. I'd say, hey, Tom Grisafi, I'm just a member at the board, but what do you think about corn? Get out of here. What's wrong? You guys up there are jerking the market around and went down 25 cents. Now all us traders are coming to you and going, we're out of a job. The pits are gone. You guys are so good at growing corn and wheat and soybeans, the price is low. And that's created low volatility. Now I can't make money trading. And I'm mad at you. Because now, and my wife's mad at you too, because she had to go get a job and another job. And so we're all mad at you. We're mad at you because you outproduced yourself. But guess what? The silver guy outproduced himself, okay? The gold guy outproduced himself. Sounds like some things have changed in energies, something called fracking or something, right? So I have 25 customers in North Dakota. When I started going to North Dakota a few years ago, there's 650,000 people in the state. There was an extra 100,000 people just in the oil industry. I think 80,000 of them since left. What happens when crude oil, light sweet crude oil is 28? Do you know what a barrel of a certain low quality North Dakota crude oil and Canada crude oil traded at 2 days ago? Anyone want to guess? I'm not going to give you a barrel crude oil. Minus 50 cents. You weren't going to get it right. Okay, let's not waste time. We got pork here. You weren't going to guess minus 50. That wasn't on the radar. And so you got $100 crude, technology changes, and they go, we got this weird crude, it's 50, 60, 40, but if you refine it and bring it to BP Amoco over here, we can do some stuff with it, and then the stuff that's left we'll use on the roads. Well, that crude is so low quality that people who have it can't get rid of it because real good high quality crude went to 28. You guys grow a product that can spoil. When you have a bid, when you have a hot cash market anywhere, take it. What was the example you told me earlier? When so-and-so's bidding something, don't question it, give it to them. Move the product. You grow corn, wheat, and soybeans. You got people who want to buy your product. We have tools to help you. You're going to have to get better at this. You can't always be the victim. I'm not here to tell you, hi, I'm Tom Grisafi. I lost a couple $1 million. I'll be okay. I still got a little left, okay? And so that's what happened.